Hey guys, Sean from Bantam Overland. Today's video, we're going to show you how to install your Garmin dash cam into your 07 to 18.5 Jeep JK. So let's go over some of the little details in each one of these Garmin dash cams. First, we have the Mini 2. That's going to give you a 140-degree view of the outside, as well as 1080p video. It's a very, very small size. It's about the size of a key, so very discreet on the window. Next, we have the Garmin 47, also 140-degree viewing angle, as well as 1080p. Now, once you get to the 47, you start getting a screen built in. Next, we go to the Garmin 57. So that also is a 140-degree viewing angle, but you jump up to a 1440p camera. Next is the Garmin 67W, which is the one we'll actually be installing in our 2017 Jeep JK. Now this one is 180 degrees field of view, as well as 1440 video. Next is the Garmin Live. So that gives you 140-degree field of view, as well as built-in LTE. So you can go ahead and access your dash cam from anywhere in the world, as long as you have the Garmin Drive app. It also has 1440p video. Next is the Garmin Tandem. Now this actually has two cameras, an exterior facing and an interior facing. The exterior facing is a 180-degree field of view with 1440p video. The interior camera is a 720p video. The Tandem also includes night vision featuring Garmin's Night Glow. Lastly, we have the Garmin Constant Power Adapter. Now what that will do is that'll plug into your OBD2 and give you constant power to any of the dash cams that we've featured here. And it's selectable by 10 minutes, 24 hours, or infinitely on. So you never have to worry about your dash cam losing power. So for today's installation, we're going to use the Garmin 67W. I'm going to show you both installing it with what's included in the box, with the cable and the power plug, and also with the Garmin Constant Power Adapter. So let's go over some of the tools that are going to be necessary to complete our installation today. First, we're going to have either a powered or manual Phillips head screwdriver. We're going to need a T20 Torx. We're going to need a pair of cutters. We're going to need some sort of panel popper or panel removal tool, and some wire ties. Now we've gone over our Garmin lineup and the tools necessary to complete the installation. Let's go over to the Jeep and start the disassembly. So first thing we do after we take everything out of the box, figure out what we're going to use. In this case, need the camera, the mount, the power cord, and then the power adapter. And then I also have the Garmin Constant Power Adapter in here as well. So first thing I want to do is go ahead and click in the mount. And I'm going to get it somewhere where I like it, where I want to be able to see it at all times. So just about in that area. Now that I can see it, I like it there, I can go ahead and start disassembling this side of the dash, as well as this, and removing the sunshade. So let's begin the disassembly with removing the sun visor. There's going to be two T20 Torx holding that in. So go ahead and remove both of those. Once we've removed our sun visor, we have a plastic Phillips in the lower hole. So just grab your screwdriver, just gently, because it is a plastic screw, so you don't want to be too rough on it. You will strip out the plastic. So now that we have our plastic Phillips head pin out, we can go ahead and just gently pull down to release that A-pillar. You'll notice that if you have factory Uconnect, you'll have a microphone here. Just go ahead and unplug it and then set that out of the way. From there, we're going to go ahead and remove this side dash piece. I would suggest that you open your door up all the way, protect your fender from the mirror. Just gently stick a panel tool in there, pop off and remove. And then last but not least, we're just going to gently pull down on the front windshield trim, releasing that from the clips. Once you do that, you'll actually see a factory wiring harness that's going across and then running down. We're actually going to attach our Garmin power cable to that to keep it out of the way of all these push pins. So inside the box, you'll have two cables. You'll have a shorter and a longer. In this case, we're going to go ahead and use the longer one. So we'll get that unwrapped. So, and there'll be two separate ends, one with a male USB-A and one with a USB micro. So the right-angled USB micro will plug into the Garmin dash cam. So let's go ahead and start doing that. So we'll get that plugged in, making sure it's clicked all the way. And then we're going to run it up. Give this a little pull. So if you have the factory auto dimming mirror, there'll be a little cutout where the factory cabling will go through. So as you can see, we can go right along with the factory wiring here. So what we're going to do is go ahead and grab one of our wire ties, get the wire secured just so it doesn't fall down. So make sure you have enough slack that it doesn't pull or get pinched. And then you can continue to run all the way, adding more wire ties as necessary. So I like to do them where the factory connections are. So we'll just continue to do that, making sure we keep it out of the way of any of the screws that we need to put back in to hold our sun visor. So from there, we're just going to gently pull this out just a little bit, run it right behind, and we'll put one more wire tie on the bottom here. So now we're down on the side of the dash. Go ahead and cut all the excess of the wire ties. And then we can go ahead and line up all of our push pins. So just drop them right back into the factory locations. There should be about 3 of them. And then you can line up your upper dash bezel and just push that back into place. So now we have our wire run. It's down here. Go ahead and cut this one. Now there's 2 different ways to go ahead and wire your Garmin dash cam up. First way is what's included inside the box. You'll have your basic plug with a USB. Now for that, all you're going to do is just figure out the best way to run it in your Jeep. Most times it will go through here along the bottom part of the dash and then up through. You could also remove your sill plate, go completely under the carpet all the way up to the center part of the transmission tunnel and then come up. Completely up to you. You can do it however you would like. Just make sure that you don't have any extra bumps or anything underneath that's going to cause any interference with your driving capabilities. For us, we're going to go ahead and use the Garmin constant power adapter. Now this will plug right into the OBD2. It gives me the option to do 10 minutes, 24 hours, or infinite power. I'm going to go ahead and choose 24 hours, and it also gives me 2 USBs, so if you have something else you want to run, you can always run that as well. To get that plugged in, we're going to go underneath the dash on the left-hand side, and it plugs directly in. So once we plug in the Garmin constant power adapter, there'll be a little red light telling us that it's on. So we can go ahead and just get that plugged right in. Little red power light is on. Now I want to be able to hide my wire behind this panel. So I'm going to stick the USB in between the brace and just kind of get it up to me here. There we go. So now I have my USB available. Go ahead and plug that in. Should be able to tell that, yep, Garmin dash cam powered on. So now I'm going to kind of group the rest of my power cable together. So go ahead and get that all tidied up. So go about there, so we can wire tie it to this factory connector. So go ahead and put a wire tie on there. And then get another wire tie on this back side. So now I have all my cabling tied up here. I'm going to do one more wire tie right here just to kind of keep this from bouncing around. Yeah. So we'll get that there. Get that wire tied in there. So now that won't bounce around. Go ahead and cut off any of the excess wire tie, and then from there we can go ahead and put on this side panel covering up all of our wiring. So just make sure that little notch goes right up in there, and then we get behind and just press in. I'm gonna go ahead and put in the windshield corner piece, and remember, if you have the factory radio in with the Uconnect, you want to make sure you plug in your microphone. So plug that in first. Make sure you hear that click. So from there, just want to line up everything. There is a hole that will match that white plug. Push that all up and in, and then you'll just have to get it set into your windshield trim here. Go ahead and put in your push pin that will go in the bottom. We'll just go ahead and get that lined up, get that pushed in. So last thing we need to do is go ahead and put our sun visor back in, just lining everything up the way it was as you pulled it out. You can even lock that back in. Grab our 2 screws. Get them in. You can start those by hand, each one. So and then grab our T20. Make sure we're good. We are. So let's go over some of the features of our 67W in our Jeep JK. So we have gallery. It's where you can view past events. Travel pass. Voice control, so you can actually tell it to record by saying, "Hey Garmin," and that will bring up what you can say, whether it's save video, take a picture, so on and so forth. From there, we go to the parking guard. So the parking guard is what will capture video in case of an event. somebody hits your car, somebody comes too close to it, so on and so forth. Next, we have the Garmin Drive app. You're going to want to download that to your cell phone. So on Google Play Store or the Apple Store. And then from there, we have our settings. We can go in and adjust date, time. And then we go back to the camera. So now that we did that, we can go ahead and get our camera pointed forward. So now that the installation is complete in our Jeep JK with our Garmin 67W, the nice thing is the installation is very similar for all of the Garmin dash cams that we carry. So if you have any questions or are looking to purchase any of the Garmin dash cams, please visit us at www.bantamoverland.com. And as always, guys, have a blast out there.